Hi, it's Don Southerton and the weekly episode of Everything Korea. For those new, welcome to our site. Welcome back to those who subscribe and follow us closely. With that, this week's topic is very relevant and very timely. Market entry and the barriers 2017. With the start of every new year, I'm approached to consult on market entry and new business development projects that range in size and scale. Now, in addition to a long time of ongoing international support of the major Korean groups and their branding, marketing, sales, and manufacturing subsidiaries, I work with companies to secure overseas partnerships. Now, this can include Korean SMEs, which is small to medium-sized enterprises. And these are firms entering other countries, for example, the U.S., as well as foreign firms seeking opportunities in Korea. So I work both ways. In particular for the smaller Korean firms hoping to expand globally, the challenges are many. In fact, a recent Korean Times article titled "Korea Seeks to Boost SME Exports," it points out that SMEs struggle considerably more than the larger group companies, and I concur with that. I've also added a link to this article, so if you want to dig a little deeper. Now, why? Frankly, my experience is that global companies, even SMEs, looking at Korea, recognize the considerable upfront investment, and that's required to enter the market. These companies invest time and the resources in discovery and hire experts to assist in the local market. Now, as a benchmark based on some recent projects, this cost is easily a minimum of 30 to about 50,000 US dollars. Now, and that's just to accomplish getting up to having a memorandum of understanding or a letter of engagement, with no contingencies on fees for first securing a partnership. Now, there are, of course, additional costs after an agreement is signed. Now, in contrast, Korean firms entering overseas markets prefer and tend to be very direct that they want someone to focus on finding them a solid, committed overseas partner or client with very little effort, very little investment up front, and that means paying fees to the local experts in market entry. Now, they feel that all the compensation should be contingent upon first finding a potential partner. So they say, find us a partner, then we'd be happy to pay you. This rarely, never works. More so, although Korean companies have websites, product lines, and company information, most of it often needs editing for overseas. They lack what is commonly accepted content for meeting presentations with potential partners, including but not limited to detailed, localized, savvy go-to-market plans. And these need to be constructed in a very Western way, and the content, high content, over 20 to 30 pages versus a very brief 2 or 3 page, sort of overview. And this also means usually a competitive market analysis, which can be very costly, has to be put together by a local team in that country versus thinking that it can be done in Korea and just sort of pushed off over to the local market. Now, these are Western expectations. These aren't options. In other words, you can't get around them. You have to do this work. You have to put this investment in. You have to pay for someone to do all that work, again, in that local market. So even with adequate funding, though, and preparation, getting in front of the right people is probably the greatest challenge in market entry. This goes the same for the Korean entry or overseas market entry. For highly recognized U.S. brands or global brands, there's less of a barrier in setting up meetings because of a strong desire in Korea for a top brand. For Korean brands looking at and entering an overseas market, there's considerably more effort in this area. In fact, I often have to rely upon my credentials to begin dialogue with a potential partner versus the Korean brand itself getting recognition locally. And that's typical for little-known brands outside Korea or East Asia. Now, all said, I'm a strong, positive advocate of green global business. I see great opportunity. I'm passionate about seeing Korean brands succeed overseas. But however, as I've shared, this does require an upfront investment. Until next time, this is Don Southerton wishing you all the best.